Okay. Some of you think that real estate investing is for people who have great credit, who have hundreds of thousands of dollars, or they don't have a job, so they got plenty of time. Well, that might be true for some, but for people who are go getters and want to get out there and get to that bag and buy back their time, well, we got free houses. Now, I know you guys see me get plenty of houses. So tonight I'm bringing on a special guest. Okay. She's an inner circle student. However, she's a high level professional already. Okay. So she just got her first deal and we're still in the midst of working that deal. I'm bringing her on tonight to have an interview, ask her some questions, and let her talk to the people. Okay. Portia Nunley. So hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, you feel like I bring you some value, I want you to consider subscribing to my channel. Okay. Or you could just be a player about it. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end. We some no-quitters. Knock it out the park. We for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere. That's a dome splitter. Yeah. We control our own destiny. Make moves. Cultivate whole legacy. Creative finance. Bring more ecstasy. The right ingredients. Now that's a dope recipe.
Okay, we got Portia in the building. Yeah,
Happy Friday. Happy
that,
Friday.
that's right. That's right. It's a real good Friday. This Friday, shoot, we got us an extra
Yes.
house now and everything
Yes.
else. I love those glasses,
Yes.
by the way.
Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Styling, styling, love it. So for the people, this is Portia Nunley. She's from Mississippi, and she's a wonderful human being to have on the planet with us. And now she's helping people with real estate. So how amazing is that? So Portia, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Oh man, boss, you are so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Sometimes I'm like a Sour Patch Kid.
So, my name is Portia Nunley, and I am a nursing professional. I've been in the nursing field for 35 years now. I recently attained my terminal degree, so I have my doctorate in nursing, and I specialize
Okay.
in psychiatry, specifically substance use disorder. And I am
Oh,
one of 11 or 12 on a team for our state that helps people that are having substance abuse issues. And I'm very excited about that. I'm a mom.
yes.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
mom and a new real estate investor. And I have been privileged to have met Jean and the team of Avengers.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on a second. Now I feel like I gotta take a cold drink of water after that resume.
Okay.
So that's amazing, though. That's amazing. Did you bring your cape with you? Because you've been a joy to work with so far, and I didn't even know all of those things. Now you did tell me about the doctorate, I believe, PhD when you came through the challenge.
DNP,
So
DNP. It's DNP. It's Doctorate
DNP,
of Nursing Practice.
Doctorate
Yes,
of
sir.
Nursing Practice. Yep,
Don't want to
yep. So
mislead anyone.
that's right. Well, there's a lot of what people should know is with all of these degrees out here, there's a lot of different there's an education. What is that?
Yeah.
EM something
ED,
like there's a
yeah,
lot of
it is.
So
Yes.
there's a lot of different degrees that we can get that are doctorates and other types of studies. But that's very good. That is service minded. I
Thank you.
love
Yes,
that.
sir. All
Yes,
my life.
yes.
All my life. Yes.
Wow, wow. Well, now this is kind of amazing, I guess, because well, not I guess it is because you get to be of service and get some assets as a result of the service that you're providing. That's
Yes,
amazing.
sir.
So, we'll I want to begin by I want you to share, you know, where you started and kind of what inspired you to pivot from, being a high level professional in the medical field to joining us in real estate.
Okay. Well, it actually began over a year ago when I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw a video of you. And so
Mm,
I'm like, very interesting. Never had any background or experience in real estate, but I've always had a desire to learn a little more, if you will. And
Hmm.
so I kind of dabbled with other things and just really couldn't find my calling in it, I guess. Not really the true support that I needed. So back
Mm.
in April, become the bank challenge. Okay, guys, just remember that. Become the bank challenge. I was in number 7. So that was the
Mm.
latter part of April, Gene.
Okay, okay. Because
Signed
we're
up.
coming up on 11. We're coming up on 11, so it hasn't really been okay. Uh,
Exactly. I'm actually
mhm.
coming up on my 6-month culmination. So
Mm.
it's very exciting within itself because of my journey, if you will.
Well, we all got one now.
Yes,
And
indeed. Several.
yes. Yeah, woo, talk to me. Okay, we might be preaching tonight on here, y'all. So just now, once we get an amen, don't get nothing started. If we see amen in the comments now, it's gonna go it's crazy. Because I mean, now you did take a journey, let alone the journey, before you got to us. But what's interesting is you said that you were scrolling social media and you saw me about a year ago, and now you
Yes.
did, but then you just said, if I'm not mistaken, that you're coming up on your 6 months with us, right, in the
Yes.
mentorship. Well, not with us,
Yes.
but just getting to the next level, really, because you're culminating in a great way. So
Yes.
next we get a three
Yes.
package deal. But you did some things before. What was that? Before you came to the family?
Well,
Like what type
I
of
had
investing?
I had not done any investing. I was just looking at
Mm,
different people that were actually espousing doing real estate
mm,
investing, if you will, you know.
I see.
I'm not gonna call any
Mhm.
names or
No, I don't
whatever,
want you to. Yeah, no, I don't want you
but
to. But
yeah.
so you found a community. We got you out of your
Yes.
comfort zone a little bit when you
Oh
came
yeah.
to the challenge.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why you say it like that? What was it? What was
Because
the experience? Yeah, talk to me.
because I'm gonna tell you, Gene. Because that was the first time I ever did a live video, and then after that, I just kinda lost my mind. I went on a European vacation, and I was, like, chronicling everything. I was doing live
You
videos and sharing them. Never done that before, so that's why I say, "Uh-huh, you did. You broke me out
oh,
of a shell."
okay. Well, let me and look at you. Okay, okay. It looks like you've been waiting then. You've been waiting on us then to get you out because I love them
Yeah,
glasses. Your hair looks beautiful. Love it. It looks amazing. Yeah.
thank you.
So, look like I need to be asking for your autograph, or look at Jose. He trying to get us started. He said, "Amen."
Alright, Jose.
That's right. That's right.
That's my
So we got to
dude.
Oh yeah, Jose's gonna do some big things too in the Go Getter family. We got some inner circle members here, Coach Molly, HQ in the house.
Hi,
Okay, Jerry.
everyone.
Yeah, drop some flames for Portia. Y'all hit that like button. For those of you that are just popping in, this is Portia Nunley. She is a medical professional, really a doctorate degree in her nursing field. I can't even, it was too much. I know I've butchered it. I just know
It's okay.
doctorate was in there.
It's okay.
If I slip up and call you doctor, it won't be like a no, I ain't, but it's this kind of doctor. I love it. Now, you came to the challenge and it is the Become the Bank challenge. We'll just talk about that for just a minute because the Become the Bank challenge, you were in 7, we're about to have 11. It truly is a challenge for people because we want people to become more and become more than what they were before that Monday that the challenge started and they were just getting introduced to the Go Getter family and becoming the bank and doing real estate really the right way, ethical capitalism. You said something though. You didn't plan on taking no videos of that European trip before you
Y
did that live?
I mean, yeah, I was gonna take some
Yeah.
videos, but it wasn't like I was gonna be like, putting my
Posting them.
face in it and.
Yeah, okay, okay, okay. Because I was like, oh, where is she at now? I couldn't wait to open up Facebook. I want to see where in the world Portia was. How long is this vacation? I want to. so, so when we ask you to do those live videos because we want to get to know each other, we're a community because we uplift each other, and that was part of your journey. Because
Yes,
this
sir.
deal, yeah, this deal, it's been a rather fast-paced situation, I would say, but it was, I mean, it seems like it's just perfect. Everything's just perfect. It really is. It's God's grace.
Yeah.
But those videos, when you started doing those, did you think
Mhm.
they had anything to do with real estate then? And then what advice would you give yourself, before when you were in the midst, like, I don't want to, because I'm not really, did I practice? Did I write down what I was gonna say? And this don't even got nothing to do with real estate. Why I'm here to learn how to become the bank. I know what people be thinking.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I found that it was very integral to what we had to do. You know, we're
Mm,
going to be learning, we're going to be educating people, we're going to be speaking. And so it kind of allowed me to be able to, okay, well, this is something that you're going to have to do. And it's not unlike what I normally do every day.
exactly.
I work in telehealth, I meet strangers all the time, but that's my
Mhm.
comfort zone, if you will. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Love it.
So
Yep.
when told us every day we had to do the video and everything, and then we had to, respond to the questionings and everything. And then I'm like, I think that this exercise is not a futile exercise. It is something that's basically, and we all love this, becoming, you know. So I think
Yes.
that it was just so important. It's a very
Mm.
important part of the challenges. So it was a unique
Mhm.
experience, and I really enjoyed it. So yes, I
Okay.
absolutely enjoyed it.
Okay, okay. So,
Mhm,
having to think that to do those lives and we just introduce ourselves to each other. And when
mhm.
people answer these questions and talk about why they're there and what they want to achieve, it's good to think things through.
Right.
I talked to my team today and we talked about how little decisions that are just kind of made, almost on a whim, right? But they pile
Mhm,
up each day, and
mhm.
we get to a point where it's like, okay, I gotta go with plan B now because I don't have much of a choice, is what we say. But it's
Mm,
it's a bunch of little choices that pile up, until we don't have that
right.
choice. But when we get to think these things through, answering those
Mhm,
questions, communicating with people,
mhm.
seeing that there are other people that are experiencing the same things in life that we are, hopes, dreams, fears,
Right.
angst, anxiety, obstacles perceived and real. What
Mhm.
what uh, when was the moment that you felt yourself like starting to look forward to answering those questions, if there was one?
Well, I mean, after I did the first video, so the next day, that Tuesday.
Okay, okay, I could kind of tell. I was like, "Ooh, I couldn't wait too." I'm like, "I can't wait to see what Portia got going on." She's so mysterious, intriguing, I would say. So
You need to quit.
we have fun. It's fun talking about buying houses and having fun and becoming better. Like it's a
Yeah,
good way
we
to
really
live,
do.
right?
We really do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Really
So so
do.
well, and for the audience, for the viewers, if you guys have questions, put them in the comments, put where you're from, and we'll answer some questions on the second half. We're going to talk about Portia's journey because I just put up a YouTube video yesterday showing your before and after videos
Mhm.
when you and your son and your nephew
Mhm.
were there. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about that experience. What was that like? Just being over there.
Watch the video.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You could tell I had to do it. I was like, now you giving me the before video before it's clean, and you're giving me the voiceover, right? The play by play. You were narrating, and your voice it sounded like you was like, you was feeling like a little bit, some type of way, kind of little bit, looking
I'm
at what was
sorry.
ahead. No, you're
I'm sorry.
good. You're good. Trust me. Trust me. These I've went through the same thing. That first house, but it's still a mess. It's like, I didn't have to spend, a whole lot of money and go through credit checks, but dang, this thing stinks and everything else. But but then you showed the video though of the after. And as you're giving me the play by play on the after, you're kind of singing, you're talking with the singing, talking, and
Yeah,
so you can tell the happiness, the joy. So talk to me
yeah.
about, how you felt there in your investment property and what was running through your mind.
Oh, just getting to see that. There was light at the end of the tunnel because y'all, when I tell you, when I finished, I ran and jumped in a big bubble bath after I finished because it was so much. I'm not trying to be facetious or
Mhm,
anything, but
mhm.
I mean, it was just, just seeing it, you know, turn around, you know, and seeing
Yes.
that we had that, my sons and my nephew had that pride and, that ownership. Because as I
Mm,
told you, I had that conversation with them while we were en route there. And I'm like, I'm letting you know, letting my children know this is your legacy. And I
mm,
wanted them to really get that because I don't think they actually got the whole essence that this was going to be their legacy, the
mm,
first one of their legacy. So
mm,
it was
mhm.
very exciting. It was very exhilarating to get it cleaned up. We did a little bit of painting, and I just kind of described it to my boys. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do like a little lipstick, just
Mhm.
because. And there's still a thing I do want to do, Gene. It's just a couple little things that I want to do
Have
because
at it. Have at it with them big old boys of yours. I ain't mad. Shoot.
look, they can do it too.
Ain't
So
no doubt about it. Young and vigorous.
okay, okay. So yeah, so I felt great. It felt great too. I went over there yesterday, because
Okay.
there was a few things that I wanted to just make sure that the garbage man picked up. There were some things. I'm not from that area, guys. I'm an
Oh,
hour
mhm,
away. And
mhm,
so I don't know all about, the rules. And but my son lives over there. He said, well, the garbage will be picked up on Mondays and Thursdays. And so I asked him to go over Monday evening just to make sure, because
mhm,
there was a few things that the owner had put beside the road, and I'm like, oh my God, are they gonna pick it up? So
mm,
I went
mhm.
yesterday, and it's so funny. I told Gene that it was just how, and it wasn't any irony to it. It was just, I mean, it was just the way he works things out. My
That's
son and
right.
I, as we as we went down the road, guys, we were literally behind the garbage truck. The garbage truck took a left, and my son went straight and then took, the garbage truck went right. We went straight and took a right. And I said, okay, because my other son had sent me a picture. It wasn't a whole lot. So I had my garbage
Mhm,
bags, I had my cleaning kit, and I'm like, put your
mhm.
gloves on, let's go ahead. And so by the time that we had finished everything, the garbage guy came back and we were all throwing bags on the garbage truck.
Your son, and the garbage man. That's right. That's right. I'd have been out there with him too. Hey, thanks, player. I appreciate
Yes.
it. Thank you. Yeah, that's
So
amazing. That's amazing. And it's I feel like we have a bit more energy to do those things to our property when we're not
yes.
spending that energy going to the bank, qualifying, calculating our
Yes.
score, calculating our debt to income ratio, seeing what we got to maneuver on our applications. Sometimes
Right.
qualify. We got energy to do that. This is the essence of really what we do, and then this is for a house, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes. So,
Mm.
let me ask you this: were there ever any moments of doubt that you had? In because this you said 6 months, you're coming up on that where you're about to be, you know, a certified real estate solution advisor. That's right. Yeah, Cressa, as
Hey,
Jerry calls it.
yes.
So
Yes.
were there any moments of doubt throughout your because you came back from your vacation, you got ill, and
Mhm.
I hadn't seen you. I was wondering, I was thinking about you, crossed my mind so many
Why
times. I
didn't you
said, now
call
where's
me,
the
man? Why didn't you just
I
pick up the phone and call me?
well, I
I
thought,
was
well, she
totally
I know, I thought she paid me. I guess since she ain't gonna call me, I better call her. Oh,
you'll know the next time if I go incognito, you
I'm
better
coming, yeah,
call
because
me.
we got hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on the line. Now I'm gonna call you. We're tied into this thing for a while. Even if you don't like
Okay.
me, I'm gonna call you because we tied together now. You done messed
Oh,
up.
okay.
So I'm just playing.
Oh my
So
goodness.
talk to me though, about those moments of doubt because we all have them
Ah,
in our journey.
exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
And I would be lying if I said that I didn't have any doubts. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I would be
Good,
lying
good.
if I said I didn't have some doubts, and I did. I just didn't have that faith in myself. Um, I was studying, okay, because I love just, getting into the habit of just learning and just trying to get that muscle memory, so
Mhm,
I can just really, because I'm the type of learner, I'm a very hands-on. And when I was
mhm,
in school, my daughter was like, Mom, she said, you're writing it down and then you're typing. I said, yes, I am. I said, because if I can read it and then I write it down and then I'm typing it, I'm establishing a lot of muscle memory. So let me
very
do
true.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let me do me. So
Like, you worry
I get
about
on
my
my children
homework
like
I'm
that.
doing? Nah, golly, y'all, I'm trying to show you how
Yes,
to do it.
exactly. So I did because I was having some problems. Felt like I wasn't, and you told me this the other night, and I know better now.
Mhm,
Um
that's mhm,
Not being able to reach my prospects, the phone numbers disconnected. You have the wrong number, just
mhm,
stuff like that. And it was just kind of, it's
mhm,
getting a little frustrating to me. I'm like, man, what have I done? I'm still, investing money and stuff and it's not working. But I have to be honest. I wasn't putting forth my everything either. So I just can't,
mm,
blame it on not, being able to reach people or whatever. Because one day
mm,
I just had an epiphany, guys. And it was just like, girl, if you don't organize this stuff, I had my
mm.
notes where I had nursing notes and I had notes that I take when I'm in the inner circle and,
Oh my
writing
goodness.
stuff when you're doing stuff and
Portia,
everything.
I
All
didn't
this
know
stuff
you was
clumped together. Yes, I
yeah.
did, boy.
Oh
Yes, I
my
did.
goodness, you was just yo ho, I know you was going crazy halfway. A little bit.
You know,
Kinda.
you know.
I
I'm
do,
like, what
but
in
from
the
experience.
world?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
from experience.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
yeah.
well, you had that epiphany. You put them papers together. You started
Yes.
feeling great. Yes, and so
Yes.
now you had a meeting, a coaching session with Coach Jerry, my executive
Mhm.
coach. I think right around that time, right?
Yes, it was. It
And
really was.
okay, okay. So
Mhm.
talk to me about what that meeting was like. Because next thing I know, Jerry tells me at our team meeting, yeah, I met with Portia, and then the next day, hey, Portia got a deal, and this looks like a deal, like a deal. I was like, I popped up. I started sniffing the air. I'm ready to go.
He put me
So
together as he always does, okay? He just
really
straightened me out. Yes.
put you together, straighten
He
you
put me
out.
together, straightened me up. Yes.
Oh,
That's what he did.
elaborate on that for me.
Portia, we getting ready to get on here. He went to a site. Okay, you look at this. This has a
Oh,
7-day trial. We're gonna look at these properties. Here, look. You see all these right here in this certain county, blah, 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 blah. I mean, just,
mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm.
like I would do my children,
Mm,
after they done
mm,
aggravated me. Now you sit down
mm.
right here because it's right here in front of your face. And that's, I love Jerry. I absolutely Jerry, where you at? I
He in there
love him to
somewhere.
death. Told him
That
he'd be
is
here
heavy.
tonight. Yes.
Yes, that
And
is
so
heavy.
that
Mhm,
was just it. And then Gene, I actually just invested in myself. I just
mhm,
started getting subscriptions. And
mhm,
Jose had asked me this the other night. My
mhm,
property, I found it was on share sales. So hey, I go to
mhm,
share sales
mhm,
auction.com, different
mhm.
things of that nature. So those are my resources that I use. And
Yes.
like I said, just invested in myself really.
Yep, I love it. So you invested in more ways than one. It's not just
There you
money, right?
go.
You invested, yeah, and so we got to give a shout out to Coach Jerry. Coach Jerry has
Yes.
has been through the fire himself, just like gold goes through a fire, and becomes more
Mhm.
refined and more
That's
valuable
right.
in that
It
fire.
does.
That fire is hot, though. That fire is really, really
Mhm.
hot. And
Yes.
and and base metals go through there and get destroyed. Now,
Mm.
but
Because they can't
it
take it. That's right.
they can't take the heat.
Can't take the heat.
It's really, really hot. To
Mhm.
become more refined and more valuable,
Mhm.
it's that fire's hot. Portia, you
That's
know.
it.
No,
That's
it's
it.
just it's amazing when we actually had somebody there that I had a meeting with that was scheduled a coaching session, and that
Mhm.
didn't just say, well, hey, well, maybe next time just go out and try again, you got it. He actually got on there with you
Yeah,
and said, we're gonna do this.
he
We're gonna
did.
take a look. We're gonna work with what we got. Look, here goes a 7-day free trial.
There you go.
Wow.
Exactly. Yes,
And
sir.
and that 7-day free trial has turned into, well, we can get a lot of 7-day trials. We can get a lot of subscriptions now, Portia, with this house.
Okay.
So yes, yes, and it's those pivotal moments. I just said how, little decisions each
Mhm.
day end up piling up. And if we try to give ourselves advice, on the matter of how to, we need that outside perspective, but we need it from somebody who actually cares and wants to lift us up, because we
That's
need,
right.
yes, we got to have difficult conversations are the way to growth. And so
Mhm.
if you come to us and we just placate you, oh, it's okay. Did you pay us yet?
Mhm. Mm,
Oh, she
right,
she paid.
right.
She paid. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it's cool, girl. Well, let's
Mhm.
just schedule another meeting and two. We care about you, so we want to have that difficult conversation because we see the greatness in you, and we talk y'all into your greatness. And look at you.
Amen. I gotta put an amen on that one, Gene. You're exactly right, because I really do. I feel that, and I'm just so grateful to have even met, if it was by happenstance or what. I'm just so grateful that I had the opportunity to connect with you, because I feel 100% support. Sometimes when I see you, like you text me, like, what do he want now? You know what I mean? Because y'all are so hands on. I'm serious. I'm
I
like,
like it.
"Now,
I know. What you be
what you
doing
gonna
now? What you
say
be
in
doing?
love now?" You know,
What,
I'm like, "Now, what he want now?" I see your text, I'm like, "What do you want now?" But, no doubt, no doubt, baby, I'm telling you, at this
I
point in my
love.
life, I'm to the point where you just tell me what I got to do, and I'm gonna do it, because I'm the expert at what I do, and you're the expert at what you do, okay? So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do what you tell me to do.
And you've been amazing. You've been a
Thank you.
joy to work with.
Thank
Yes,
you.
a
Thank you.
joy to make money with and buy assets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's been fun.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it too.
Well, I mean, really, because I mean, you think about it. I just got off the phone with Carrington today, the servicing
Mhm.
company. Bianca and I did, and Bianca had mentioned how great it's been to work with you. So I was like,
Thank you,
it sure
B.
has.
Thank
Yes, that's
you.
amazing. Because if we're ever going to be able to give directions, we've got to be able to follow them, especially when we don't know that, or we know that we don't know.
That's
And it's
right.
cool. Yeah, we
Mhm.
got to be able to follow them first, because then we can give them and have an expectation of that they'll be
Right.
followed. So, uh, let's talk about this now.
Mhm.
The guidance. Now, you said I'll be bothering you, which I love it. Because we look, I'll call you or you call me. You be like, I'll call you, answer. God is good. I'm like, he sure is. What we did. Dude, I already know. What you got going on? Because he was good over here too. So, um, well, there was one moment for me when
Mhm.
you were talking to your sons in the car about going
Mhm.
over, and this is our legacy, and
Mhm.
this, we're not going to clean somebody else's house. This is
Mhm.
our house that we're going over there to do this. And I remember when you guys got done, your son had asked you, Mom, are we going this, it's Saturday now, are we going to be doing this every Saturday, weekend thing? Tell me about that situation.
I said, "Lord, baby, I hope not."
You like, this was too much. Oh.
Yeah, so, I told him, I'm like, "This is an extraordinary, situation, and hopefully in the future," I'm like, "Yes, we're gonna go in and clean, Gene." You know what I'm saying? Hopefully not
Hmm.
to that magnitude, okay? And so I
Right, some
told
are
him,
better
and
than
so
others.
yeah, yeah. And so and he just basically he said, "Mom," he said, "Well, I think that's something that I do." I said, "Well, hey, well, that's good." And I'm like, I
You cut
was really
out, you
proud
cut
because this
out,
is a 20-year-old.
you cut out. He said what? He said, "Mom, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. He said
You're
that
good."
he thought that that would be something that he wanted, to do. And I'm like, man, wow. And this is the youngest one. This is the 20-year-old. I'm like, really? I said, oh, okay, son. I'm glad that you are, feeling like this is something that you can contribute to your legacy. So that made me feel so good when he said
Yes.
that, that he
Yes.
wanted to be in, even if
I
it's just cleaning it.
that's amazing. Now hold on, I gotta rewind that here a little, just a little bit, just a tad bit, because he asked you. He said, "Mom, are we gonna do this every Saturday, every weekend?" And you like, "Lord, I hope not." Now, because this been, whoa, did you smell that freezer in the? And then you was like, "But baby, we'll be cleaning some, so
Yeah.
hopefully it ain't this bad."
Yeah.
And a 20-year-old young
Yes.
man on a Saturday over at the house cleaning when the water wasn't on, electricity wasn't on. His response was, "I hope so."
I said, yeah, I said that,
Mm.
I hope that we won't have to do it to that magnitude. But he
That
said,
magnitude,
that's
right.
what I want. He said, that's what I
Yes.
think that I would like to do. That's what he
Mm,
said. Yes.
mm. At y'all's house.
At our house.
That's right. That's right. I love it. That's amazing. It is. It's a man. It's like a metaphor for when you first started cleaning and you did that before video, and your
Mhm.
voice sounded kind of annoyed a little bit. And then
Mhm.
and then or
Mhm.
like perturbed, you looking at it like it's a Mount Everest of cleaning. But
Right.
once you start and you start chipping away at it, like that feeling begins to turn into more excitement and
Yes.
anticipation. Yeah, and it's a really a metaphor for the whole situation. And it turns out great when we attack it with that, you know. I mean, yeah,
Exactly.
it's amazing. It's amazing. So, um, how was it dealing with the seller? You said it was like, because you're a professional, you're a high level medical professional. You have patients, and help them medically and everything. And so you said this was kind of like that.
Um, when I really got down, when we got to the house and I could really see inside the house, the contents of the house, and just in my professional opinion, I'm like all of the excess, all of the clutter, all of the dirtiness of it. I shared with you, I said it's almost to the point of being pathological, but I deal with patients that have mental health issues every day that I work. And so,
Mhm,
of course, I love my job. I love what I do. And
mhm.
so I could like sympathize with what she's going through because it's a story. It's a story
Yeah,
behind what was going on. And like I told y'all from
life.
day one when I first brought it to the class, and it's a story. And she and we talked. Was it yesterday, Jean? I think it was yesterday because she was kind of radio silent the day
Mm,
when my son had gone by, guys, and there was a dolly there, and she had asked me about having a dolly to move the freezer, and I told her, I said, "No, I don't have a dolly." So my son said, "Mom, there's a dolly at the house." And so I was just asking her, did someone come to help you move it or whatever, and she didn't ever respond. And so she responded yesterday, and she'd been sick and everything, and
mhm,
so and just kind of told me, but we literally just talked. We talked
mm.
about the process she's in. She's having some issues with her new landlord. I mean, it breaks my heart. It really does because I'm like, the home that she's in is a beautiful home that they're renting, but she's having
Yeah,
some
it's
issues with
trailer,
that.
right?
A trailer, a double wide,
Mhm,
but it's a
mhm,
beautiful from the outside because I didn't go into that one, but it's beautiful,
mhm.
nice little setup and everything. I'm very proud for her,
Yes,
but
absolutely. Going
yeah,
from
but
that situation we saved her from to
yeah,
that. Mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
she kind of delved in a little bit more, telling me her brother had just gotten out of the um institution, penal institution, and
Mm.
she's spending time with him and his son, and she said, really, that's the only thing's keeping me going with everything's going on. She said, Portia, I think I'm depressed. And I was like, yeah. I
Mm.
said, no doubt, I think you probably are. And
Mm.
I said, you need to go see your doctor, because
Mm.
you can't help her with that. She's not my
Right, right.
patient.
That's not your
So, yeah.
We
So,
can give words
she is
of
having a
encouragement.
of course, just like,
Yes.
feel like I'm a mom. I mean, I'm the old lady in the shoe. I have so many children. I don't know what to do. I'm Mama
Mm.
Portia to, I don't know, 10, 20 children. I just
Oh my
have
goodness.
children.
I see
I
that.
don't
I could see
didn't
that
have
being the case.
children.
Right. You just got them. You
I
didn't
just
have them. Yeah, you just got them. You like, what? I don't remember that. What? No. But you said, old mama in the shoe. Guess what? We gonna turn it into a Prada, a red
okay,
bottom.
okay, okay. I'll take
Mhm,
that.
mhm. That's right.
I'll
That's right.
take that.
Because it's amazing how you said you were just having this conversation with her, and
Hmm.
we bought this house, and there's the equity on this deal is not anything to just wink at, I guess, as they say. I
Right.
don't even know what to say. It's a amazing deal, over $100,000 in equity on it, and she's getting money where she thought she had nothing come. They were moved out, she had given
Hmm.
up, they were going to let it go.
Hmm.
And then an angel named Portia showed up in her messenger DMs asking could she talk to her with a power statement in hand.
And it was on the night of one of our meetings, guys. If y'all remember, it was the night of our inner circle meeting. It was on a Wednesday night. I had actually had reached out to her like earlier in that day, and I had done my research, like Jean and Jerry and everybody had taught us. And so
Mhm.
I had hunted her down on Facebook, y'all. I really did, and I said, "Is this you?"
Is
I
you
really did.
you?
Is this you? And she responded.
Mhm.
And she responded, and and I proceeded to tell her who I was, and what I did and everything. And I said, well, do you have time to talk or set a meeting with me? She said, I got time right now. And so, and that was like, it was like around about
Mm.
7:45 or whatever, and I was like, oh my god. But I said, okay, let me weigh this. Do I talk to her or do I go to the meeting? So I
I'm
talked to her
there.
and came to the
That's what I
meeting
was about to
later.
That's what I was gonna say. Now I ain't never mad talking about no money. Go ahead, show up when you want to. Matter of fact, when you need me to show up, can I move something around?
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm
Oh,
coming. So you talk
yeah.
to her, and it just so serendipitously. I mean, it happened on the night of our inner circle meeting, which is Wednesday
Yes.
night. Yeah, she says I
Yes.
can talk right now. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, the heavens just opened up.
Right. Right.
Okay. Now this situation, Portia's an inner circle student, and they have a deep dive with me. Portia just had her deep dive not long ago, meet with the coaches one-on-one throughout those 6 months, each coach like once a month, and then our inner circle sessions, student success.
Mhm.
And this deal, we're paying $5,000 at closing. 5K
Mhm.
at closing to the seller. So she's got something for Christmas. And I asked her that because I negotiated this over Zoom. Portia got it all lined up. This is nice low hanging fruit. I was like, ooh, this a ripe one, Portia. Thank you. Nice. This is sweet. Just
Yeah.
about to fall off the branch. I'm like, hold on, I'm coming. So,
And
so
I didn't
five.
even know what I had. I mean, really,
You
truly,
didn't
I had no idea what I had.
really,
I
really.
did
Hold on.
not.
That's interesting because this is a gem. You didn't. So you was just going on faith or what? What do you
I
talk
was
to
going
me?
on faith, and I was going on what I felt like I was learning. I
Hmm.
was looking at the prop stream, and I looked and I'm like, this can't be right, because it was like, it wasn't, the math wasn't mathing to me, as the kids say. I'm like,
If you're
they've been in
yeah,
this
with
house.
what they say real estate is, with what they say real estate is, this can't be right.
This can't be right.
Mhm, mhm.
But
They've been in
I
the
put
house
it in
how
that
long?
doggone deal desk though.
Yeah. So what was you saying to you? So you sure did. We was like, oh, Jerry checked it out. Meeting was coming up. No, just had your meeting. Jerry sent you out there on the hunt. He gave you that pep talk. Coach Jerry did.
Uh-huh.
And
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
and then here goes God shining his grace because in the decision moment that you had when you could have said, you know what, this is hard. It ain't working. I want to give up. I'm gonna go do something else. You said after Coach Jerry help pick. You know what? I think I got something left. I got some fight left. We can
That's
do. There's
right.
people doing this. Yes.
That's right.
So when you looking at them numbers though, you like, what was you what was you thinking?
It was like, okay, I'm thinking all this equity and not enough that they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this, it wasn't computing to me, y'all. I
Yes.
just didn't, I couldn't make it make sense to me.
Such a
And
great
so,
deal. Such a great deal.
yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't
amazing,
make it make
amazing.
sense though.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them so the numbers on this thing are really when I seen them, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm sitting here, I was just throwing gas on the throwing gas on the fire right there. Cause when I seen them, I'm like, is this right? Cause what in the world?
Right.
Whoa. Like, see, this is the thing with what we do with real estate. That's why I love that Portia is a high level individual, high level professional, plenty of degrees. There's a couple behind her there. And what she's just done with this house, a $89,000 underlying mortgage and we bought this house by taking over that underlying debt and leveraging the seller's debt. Property's held in trust, the deed is in trust, so we just help them with that trust asset, right?
Hmm.
And the $89,000 underlying loan, we're going to pay 5,000 at closing,
Hmm.
5 grand. And then we're also going to give the seller another 20,000, right? Because we're not just going to come in and just because there's all that equity and she's in need, we can just give her 5,000 and steal from her pretty much.
Right.
No, I'm like, hold on, you got some more. You said you wanted how much? We gave her what she
Hmm.
wanted
That's
because I could have
exactly
gave her
right.
20. Yep, I could have gave her. I
Hmm.
said, we're gonna give her 25,000. We'll give her
That's
five at
right.
closing, $300 a month for 67 months.
Hmm.
Okay, and there's about $850 cash flow net on this property on this house.
Hmm.
So we'll
Hmm.
take the 300 out of that and pay her the 20 grand.
Hmm.
And then there's 500 a month cash flow, $100,000 retirement plan too, because we're going to sell it for at least 189.9, and that's like super low. It's going to be higher than that. I'll tell you that now.
Hmm.
That's the comps that the realtor sent over. There's a couple houses
Okay.
that sold about 189.9. That's a
Okay.
hundred thousand. That's 100,000 in equity there.
Okay.
That's a retirement backed by real
I'll
estate too. This
take it.
ain't paper stock. That's right. This ain't forex. That's a piece of property. The
That's
best
right.
part, yeah, the best part is, we need some gas money too now. Because that cash
Okay.
flow, that 500 a month, that'll take a while to accumulate. So
That's right.
what we'd like to get a $20,000 down payment on that too.
Mhm.
Now that'd be real nice.
Mhm.
And if we get in the right places, which we're going to start working on next week
Mhm.
diligently. Coach
Mhm.
Molly's coming in. She'll November 1st. She's starting 100% with the Go-Getter family. So she's going to be working with you a
Mhm.
lot with the
Mhm.
disposition of it. And we get a
Mhm.
$20,000 down payment. This is what that would look like. 15,000 spread the 5,000 that cost at the beginning of the deal.
Mhm. That's right.
So you're pretty much getting paid to start that legacy and work on the weekends, according to your son.
Maybe one weekend a month. Okay. One weekend a
Okay.
month.
Hey, you keep finding deals like that. I'm cool with it. Go, is that you want to work this weekend, this month, Portia? I got it. I
Oh
got it.
my goodness.
So, talk to me about, what is this like moving forward for you? What does it look like moving forward the future for
Wow.
you?
Gene, man, it's about it's kind of hard to fathom, to be honest with you, because I'll never forget whenever I first met you and you were like saying that when you travel, I'm flying first class. And by the way, I did fly back from Europe first class. And like I said, anything
Woo!
over 4 hours is going to be first class for me all the time. Okay.
Once you do it,
So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
you got to.
mm,
Got to. I
You
get
did
used to.
international too.
Yes, yes. So,
Okay, let's get us another house. We gonna fly wherever we want to first
yes,
class.
anywhere, anywhere. So
Mhm.
that financial freedom, I mean, because healthcare professionals historically, we do we work hard, we break our bodies down. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? But we don't
Yes.
get paid what we're worth. So I'm looking at
Mhm.
it because within the next couple of years, just
Mhm.
maybe doing
Mhm.
this full time. within the
Mhm.
next, because I mean, I love my job. Y'all
Mhm.
might be saying like you are crazy, but I love my job.
That's nothing
And
crazy about that at all.
I really
Mhm.
do. I love my job, and I don't want to
Yeah.
just but I'm glad that I know that I have an option, that
Yes.
this is going to be my contingency plan.
Yes. Yes. It
Okay.
seemed like you were seeking an option and
Yeah.
found us. Now, did you know anything about real estate before you came in?
Very little, because like I said, I had, looked at a few people that were online and everything, but
Mhm.
really truly you can say very negligible, okay? Did
Mm,
not know
mhm.
anything. Did not know
Mm.
anything. No, sir.
Not like the Harvard of real estate.
Not like the Harvard of real estate.
Yeah, because we get really fly with it now. Now I just look like this. I try to tell people all the time,
That's
Portia.
right.
That's
Don't let
right.
that backward hat fool you now. That's
They
right.
can if they want to,
They
but
can.
so it's funny though that you say that. I mean, some people love their jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we've got to be at a place where we are taking care of ourselves, our families'
Right.
financial well-being for the future, and we can't be working 8, 10, 11, 12 hours a day till we're
Mhm.
Lord knows how old, till it's hard to get up out that office chair. You gotta got dog it like you got to
Yep.
maneuver your way up. We ain't doing that. We're going to be
That's
maneuvering our way
right.
up out the lawn chair on the beach. I'm
Okay.
yeah, I'm calling
I'm
somebody
with
over
it.
help me. Yeah, I'm gonna wave my little
Yeah.
flag. They run over and give me a hand. Yeah, come on. We've earned it.
Exactly.
Now the thing about this is, Portia, the deal that you got,
Mhm.
there's $100,000 in equity on it. So, and it's backed by a cash flowing asset. Okay.
That's right.
So that's another piece of that's another asset, that promissory note, when it's sold to the buyer, that is we give the opportunity at home ownership, because you're giving your community the opportunity at affordable home ownership. You're going to be able to help a family to who probably thought they would never own a home, to get the
Mhm.
opportunity to own their own home. And
Right.
I mean, so this is like ethical capitalism, because that
Mhm.
100,000 in equity, well, you can do it. There's a whole lot you can do with that promissory note. I mean, Lord have mercy. So you could do this part-time and be rich, full-time and be
Okay.
wealthy.
Okay. I like that.
That's for real. 6 months, you made $100,000 in equity. We'll get at least $20,000 down payment on this.
Mhm.
That's $15,000 spread above acquisition costs, and
Mhm.
then $500 a month cash flow. For the first 5 years on it, and then after that, Lord have mercy. Shoot, we could pay that thing off and just pay it down early and be like, we want all the cash flow. I mean, there's so many options. It's good to have options.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
It's
Now,
amazing.
now talk to me though about the learning curve for you, like, because you know what was that like, you're talking to the audience, like what would you tell yourself if you was watching me right now and you caught me for the first time, about the
Mhm.
learning curve, and how
Mhm.
you, because you just said the other day, like, I just talked to everybody about this. Now I can't even, I'm giving my power statement, I'm telling, they like, and they want to talk to me, and I
Right.
know you love having them conversations. People be having to tell you, now Portia, come on, now we got to go.
Are you trying to say I got a big mouth and I talk a lot?
N
But
No,
that's
no, I'm
true.
trying to
It's
say you're,
true though.
well, okay, well, now you said it. I was gonna say, shoot, I love talking to you. We gonna be here. I'm like, uh-oh, they got about a good 2 hours left. Oh my
Oh
goodness,
my
yes. So
god.
talk to me about that. Talk to me about that learning curve, and what advice you'd give yourself.
Okay. So with the learning curve, now, like I said,
Mhm,
I am, so if it's something that I'm really interested in, like I was with your program, I just dove in head first.
mhm.
I taking the notes and everything. I think I showed you my binder. I got a trapper keeper in. I got a 2-inch binder with my forms and everything. I am just so manual. I have
Mhm,
to have my hands
mhm,
on that paper. I have to be able
mhm.
to go and instead of trying to look up here. I got 1,000, things open up here on my browser and everything, trying to find this. Let me go in my notebook and flip those papers.
Yeah, lick them fingers.
You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep, I do some of both.
Yeah. So, the only thing that I would say is to just don't give up on yourself. If it's
Mm,
something that you truly know that, that you want to, that you want to do, and you can
mhm,
see the evidence of other people doing it, you hear people say that all the time. Well, if I did it, I know you can do it. It's so cliche, but it's so true. So don't give up on yourself. Invest in yourself. Take the
mm,
time to learn this material, because it's going to seem like that there are things that you're learning, some things that you may have forgotten, some things that, that just may not stick at that particular moment. So,
mhm,
do your due diligence, and y'all teach us that. Do your due diligence with your
mhm,
research, do your due diligence with your studying. Take that time
mm,
out, niche that time out of day to where, because I find myself, if I get this is my office behind me, guys, and I
mm,
leave my office and come right over here to my recliner, mostly to my couch over there, and I'll just
mhm,
get on my computer, or I'll take
mhm,
some time, videos. I go, like when I go in the classroom, and God, I got to catch up on videos. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
taking notes and
mhm,
everything. So what I'm saying is, it's just basically invest in yourself. If it's something that
mhm.
you can see is so tangible that you can almost grab it, go ahead and just reach for it, because
Ooh,
eventually you're going to get it. Eventually you're going to
okay.
get it.
That's deep,
And I
that's
did
deep.
this. Gene didn't tell you about my journey. I really got acutely ill during this time.
Yes, right
Um,
after your vacation. Tell us
and
about
right
that.
after my vacation, I got, and look, if any Mississippi people are listening, I tell people all the time, I know I had a form of COVID, but it just
Mhm,
wasn't. I was testing negative.
mm,
I think that because I got sick when I was on the way back, I thought I just had ear pressure. And
mhm,
because when I got to Houston, Gene, I told my
mhm.
daughter, I said, I can't hear. I had so much pressure in
Mm,
my head. Then a few
mhm,
days, a day or two later, I just had a terrible, terrible, like, I'm not gonna gross y'all out because I'm a nurse, but anyway, I had a
it was
terrible
bad.
taste in the back of my throat. And
Mhm,
I'm like, this is just gross. And then I began to get sicker. I had symptoms of COVID because I've had it before. Doc said, you don't
mm,
have COVID. I said, something's wrong. They ran
mhm,
tests for Legionnaire's disease, all kind of exotic things, flu,
mhm,
strep, COVID,
mhm,
everything was negative. And so I
mm.
ended up going into the hospital for 4 days. And
For
during
4
that,
days.
for 4 days from that Monday,
Mm,
and I was discharged that Thursday. Yes, sir. And it was
what was going
actually
on
on
in the
the day,
hospital?
I went in the day that I actually was going to start my new job with the state, June 12th.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
And I was literally sick, and I felt like I was to the point I was just so low, and as the Bible said, I felt I hate to keep saying this, but I felt like I wasn't going to make it. I really did.
mm,
And I
mm,
had a spiritual awakening. I just, for those that don't believe, that's your belief, but I know who I believe in. And I just
mhm,
cried out and
mhm,
I asked, my father to help me. And
mhm,
my father told me, just like I'm talking to you, Gene,
mhm,
concentrate on getting better. I'm going to take care of everything else, because there were some other things that were going on in my life that I've been
mhm,
struggling with
mhm,
that I couldn't handle. And
mm,
that was that Wednesday. That Thursday, I discharged from the hospital. And that's God
mm.
given truth.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now,
That's
and,
it.
thank God, that's amazing. That's amazing. And
It is.
and when you said there were some things going on that you just couldn't handle yourself. We can't carry
Mhm.
the weight of the world on our shoulders by ourselves, and we shouldn't have to, because we don't.
Right.
We
That's
don't.
right.
And so, once that happened and you were in a place where, being thankful to be able to get out the bed and pour yourself some water
That's
is
right.
something we would think about and be thankful for,
That's
you
right.
know?
That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly right,
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't. I was so sick. I mean, I literally couldn't take care of myself. I had to have assistance to the bathroom, to the
Mm,
bathtub. I mean, I was really, really sick, guys. I was
mm,
very sick.
mm. And see, this is the thing with me. And I try to tell people all the time, like, we we should have gratitude all the time because that's when we won't miss God's grace. If we have
Come on
gratitude
now.
in those difficult situations too, we still have gratitude because we should have gratitude that we have the ability to mount a fight against those difficult situations then.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
because some people can't even do that. And if we're not doing that, if we don't have that gratitude, then we think about the things that we want or that we lack and the things we want that we think we don't have already. And
Mhm.
so we're in a lack state of mind and we don't even pay
Mhm.
attention to the things that we should have gratitude for.
That's
And
right.
when God's grace comes, we don't see it. We're not in a place to see it even, to even
Mhm.
receive it. And
Mhm.
and you know, you were put in that place for certain, and
Yes,
it was already set up for you. It was already laid out.
I believe it. I
Yeah,
believe it.
because you had that community there that for you to move forward too. You had something you was going to do, even though life was being life on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how did that lift you up, you think? That part, like how did that help you through?
Because it let me know time after time after time, no matter what I'm going through, he's gonna be there. He's got my back.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what it was. Because
Mhm.
I thought I was leaving here. I mean, when I say that, I don't say that in jest or anything. I really
Right.
do. I
I
really did.
understand.
So,
I
yeah.
understand. That's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad, that you could you got out there, you took action, and now you see the sun shining on the other side after that rain. Sun
Yeah,
always come up after the rain. You know,
always.
it's different when something like that happens and we not just going back to, what we was at before with the
That's
hope
right.
of it being different or change or manifesting something else. You came through something like that and then are in something that is a whole new world, a whole new life. And it's, I mean, a house,
Absolutely.
a legacy.
Absolutely.
Your kids talking about I could do this every Saturday, mom. You like, where was you at when you was young like that? Boy, I asked you to do the dishes and you
Exactly.
yeah. So there's a there's a couple questions. I'm gonna get to some of the questions for the viewers. Let's see here. Now we got somebody from where are you from? Oh, Chicago. Okay. From Chicago. I'm Janet from Chicago. How do I get started? I'm gonna let Portia answer that because she was on the starting block for a little while. Now she's an investor.
Become the Bank Challenge is coming up next week after next, November 6th. So just get in where you fit in, sis. Get into
Ooh,
the Become the Bank Challenge. It's coming up in a few
yes.
days.
There you go. Come through the challenge. That's real talk too, because
Come through.
Portia, yeah, Portia knows that date. The only reason Portia knows that date is because when the inner circle members, I tell they come back, come back. Y'all ain't got to pay.
Mhm.
Come on through that challenge, shore up that knowledge, participate, meet people, commune with the community while we're talking about getting to a big old bag and helping people in the process. I mean, it's amazing. Think about it. You just said how you was helping the your client, the seller,
Mhm. Mhm.
talking to her about life, gave her a couple
Mhm.
motivational, couple motivational minutes. And then
Mhm.
once you do a couple of things, you didn't even tell me what you was gonna do. We'll talk about that later. I ain't even tripping. No, do it up because that paint looked good. I said, I'm looking. I'm like, is that new paint? No, because that looked good. But anyway, because on the video, yeah.
Yeah.
But but so then, once we get that cleaned up and ready, which next week we're on it anyway, you're gonna be able
Mhm.
to help a family actually get home ownership and not have to rent. So on both sides, it's like how I mean, what in the world? It's like this is a gift from God, and then you got a house, and everybody thankful to you. Like, thank you, thank you. Thank- oh my goodness, man,
It's awesome. It's
I'm happy for
awesome.
you. I am
Thank
happy for
you.
you. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you're acting as if you would like to cause it to happen too. Because we got to
Wow.
ask ourselves that, yeah, what are we doing to cause it?
That's
And that's
right.
how, yeah, that's how I feel about you. You do, you know. So let me see. We had any more questions? Put them in the comments, guys. Put where you're from too. Now we like to know where people are from. Janet is from Chicago. Hey, Janet, how is it going? Let's see. I think Janet had another question too. Janet's trying to get all the way to the bag already.
Come on, Janet. Come on.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is great. Once you obtain the property, what can you do with that property? You wanna answer that, Portia?
Well, with the property, what we're doing is our hope is that because the other side of what we do, not only helping any distressed homeowners, we're trying to make affordable housing for people that won't traditionally qualify for bank, loans. So,
Mhm.
that's what I want to do. And,
Mhm.
we want to get them in there. We want to get them, getting to where they can establish some credit so they can have
Yeah.
a good, viable livelihood. So that's what we
Yes.
want to do. That's the
Yep.
second part of
Absolutely.
what we do.
Yep, that's what we do. So what we do is sell them on rent to own, and a person's job is their credit though. Okay, so we don't check their credit score and all of that, and then add all that stuff up. It's their job, and then how much they can afford per month. So and giving them that opportunity and it's not if you don't have a job, just a verifiable income. That's it. Where you got to, if you need to season your credit a little bit more or take time to build up a down payment, shoot, we'll give you credit for a down payment if you're willing to do some work. If the carpet needs clean or a coat of paint, we give you credit toward your down payment. So when people have the opportunity at home ownership, they wear it as a badge of honor. And they're more likely to go further in school or professionally, less likely to make bad decisions, because they have those roots.
That's
So,
evidence based. That's exactly right. It really
yeah,
is.
yeah, you know that because you're a medical
Hmm.
professional, so you read studies. Yeah, I'm a little nerdy too. But I just didn't cite the peer reviewed, but so, but it's true though, right? And
It is.
we got to think about that. We don't feel like we're just throwing money into a black hole each month because we're paying rent. We got to deal with some sleazy landlord. No, these people are our clients. We have three. I'm a certified affordable housing provider. That's what Portia is working her way to, right? A
Hmm.
certified affordable housing provider. Right now, she's on an affordable housing provider and doing quite well at it. And you know, we work with them. We give them a certificate when they do get in the silver level rent to own lease option. They can get up to an agreement for deed, and then bank financing if they get it, or in-house financing, right? And we're sending them letters every once a year for a number of different things just to keep them engaged because we want to help them succeed too. So you said you were going to be talking to your church or something. Some churches had reached out to you or something. What happened? Tell me what's
Well,
going on.
no, no, no. Yeah, I'm gonna be. I've been handing out flyers and everything, and of course, my
Mm.
business card posting flyers. And I'm a little country girl. We have our church services once a month, so I said that when we first Sunday, I was going to take a flyer and talk to some because I'm becoming more. And it's so crazy to me that because I know that people that are around you that know you, they tend to look down on you. You know what I mean, Gene, sometimes. So
Oh
I
my
haven't
goodness, yes.
really just and let my, you know,
Right.
immediate, people know. So
Mhm.
I think that I'm gonna take not I think I'm gonna take that opportunity to
Mhm.
post my flyer in my church and everything and talk to them because
Mm.
I'm in a leadership position, excuse
Are
me,
you
in the
really?
church. Hmm. And just,
Mm.
and let
Well,
them
that
be
doesn't
aware
come
of
by
what I'm
surprise.
doing.
Yeah,
Sir?
that don't surprise me. Yeah, that's good,
Yes,
that's good. Well
sir.
well, guess what? See, this is what I love about what we do too, which is one of the reasons I just remained me. once I started,
Mhm.
gathering up assets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars all around the country. I still wear my hat backwards. So
Mhm.
if they want to look down, look up,
Mhm.
sideways or this away, whichever way, it's all good because now imagine how you're going to show up. Imagine how you're going to show up. You're going to show up with your flyers, right? And then with
Mhm.
with a house that's available
Mhm.
for this, yeah, for what you're talking about. So this isn't just theoretical that I'm talking about, I'm about to do and thinking about getting in. This is
Mhm.
actually what we're doing, and we actually have a house in inventory right now. Now I do have this home ownership presentation, because we do have a
Mhm.
presentation to go through some slides to guide you on through, talk about what we do, who we help, how we help you, what the
Mhm.
programs are. And so, they might be looking like, they might hear about it. Yeah, Portia gonna be talking about that thing. And when they see it, it's a whole nother story. And it's
That's
okay.
it.
I'm cool. Yeah, I want it to be a whole nother because I want to help you too.
That's it.
But
That's it.
we're living over here. See, that's the thing. This is what I tell people, and I think Coach Jerry and Coach Molly, help with this, and the inner circle, the community is, and doing those lives, becoming more, is we've got to we put so much stock into worrying about what other people think, who other people think we are, right? Who
That's
we're
right.
we're worried about it now. We got to make them think we're this, instead of being more worried about who we think we are.
We are.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, forget
Right.
about, yeah, well, who we think we are is what matters. After that, once we can see our own stuff, that's when we can see the clearest, and we're not worried about who other people think that we are.
Right.
That's not where the yes. So that's what helped, to take action in the community, showing you you're not alone. That's why the community is so strong. This ain't a moment, it is a movement.
Movement.
So, and y'all, before I forget, the link is in the description if you want to register for the Become the Bank Challenge. Now I'm having a special tonight in commemoration of Portia, right? Because they say, yes, yes, this deal. They say, when you get in that VIP, when you come to the challenge, you got to get in the VIP, the Q&A before each day of the challenge. So for tonight, there's going to be a link in the description where you can get the challenge VIP for general admission, $97 price of general. And I'm telling you, the value that you get, well, I don't know, Portia, what do you think? You when you first got in the challenge versus now?
Baby, I'm telling you, just those 5 days, it's gonna knock your socks off. It's gonna literally knock your socks off. That's why I ended up coming into the inner circle, because I just had a little taste of what they had to offer, what I had to learn. So
Mm.
you're gonna be thirsty. You're gonna be thirsty for more when you get into that challenge.
Yes, and see that.
Hmm.
Look, that's right, that's right. And the beautiful thing about, the Become the Bank challenge is, yes, while you will be thirsty for more because of I mean, it's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but the information that you get in the challenge, you can get a deal done just from that. Joseph Montez, got a deal the very next month, became a homeowner. So we're doing this, changing lives all around the country, and that's what we all have to understand. That's what you have to understand too, Portia, is being part of the community and participating and asking questions in the inner circle, and other people are like, oh, that's a good question, yeah, I needed to know that,
Mhm.
that reverberates
It does.
through, yes, it
Mhm.
reverberates.
Mhm.
So we're touching people's lives and we don't even know it, and that's the way we're supposed to live, for
Mhm.
real. And
And
so
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're
I'm
fine,
sorry.
please.
No, and you just made me think of something, because I do I um I do talk a lot and everything, but I was so afraid. I'm gonna tell you
Mm,
guys. I'm being honest.
mm,
I was so afraid of asking the wrong question, and I didn't know. But I was so. That's one of the things that I learned too, Gene, to
mhm,
not be afraid to ask, because if you what did you say? You don't know what you don't know. So
right,
I'm like,
mhm,
I'm being, I'm not doing myself any good by not asking questions, you
that's
know,
right.
that you don't know.
Mhm,
So you got to
mhm.
ask those questions.
Mhm,
You got
mhm, there ain't nothing to
to.
be afraid of. That's right. What do you think you were afraid of? Like, what was making you at first?
Well, I was thinking that maybe, and the teachers always tell you there is no dumb question. I thought I was having, dumb questions. you know. It's a dumb question. Like, oh, she's supposed to be this and that, but she asked that question. I'm like, well, I didn't know, so I did
Oh,
ask.
yes, I get you.
You know.
I get you. I get you. See, that's that. See, now that goes right back to what I was just saying. We be so worried about making people think that we who we are, right? Yeah,
Right.
that because a lot boils down to that, and if we really boil it down,
Hmm.
and some people unfortunately won't get over that limiting belief, and
Yes.
yeah, and then they never get to taste this feeling that you're tasting right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cause it's a feeling. Yeah.
It is. It really is. And it's an awesome feeling. I'm like I told you the other night, I'm so energized. I just feel so reinvigorated. And it's just like, and my nephew, I call Jerry my nephew.
I
We
know,
had to
see
come
that
to
too.
Jesus. We had to come to Jesus. I'm like, I get you, boss. I get you. I'm gonna slow my roll. This just what I do. I get to doing something, coach, and then I'll just take off like a wild mare. So that's just what I do, man. So we done had to
I
come to
get it.
Jesus meeting. So I'm pretty sure he's updated you. So I'm slowing my roll.
Well,
I
at
can
least you
laugh
know
because
it.
it's true, baby. I can laugh
Yeah.
because it's true. I know me.
Boom. There you go. See
Okay.
that
I
boy.
know me.
Yeah. And that's cool. See, that's what that it boils back down to. Either we're worried about who other people think we are, or
Hmm.
who we think we are. So if you know what you be doing, it's cool that somebody say, "Hey, you doing that again."
Hmm.
Now, if you just cool it a little bit and take care
Hmm.
of what's in front of you, well,
That's
then we can
right.
get a whole bunch of these.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah. And so
I
that's
got the
cool.
memo. I got the
Yeah.
memo.
Yes, and it's true too. Like we take it in component pieces, right? So we got
Yeah.
this going on. We're getting into the disposition. Boom, we'll get that
Hmm.
taken care of, nice and neat, tied up in a nice little bow, just like we wanted. That's why
Right.
we were able to help Tiff and Tad the way that we did, because they helped themselves by component parts. Boom, they locked their thing up in a nice little bow. That wholesaler tried to, So with that though, you like, I like this stuff. I'm gone. Choo, you going to the moon. Yeah. So you like, "Choo, I got three more leads. They ready. One of them said, hold on, what? Who? So, but I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting,
It
and
is.
getting to the end is amazing, right? So it's such a great ending that what happens though sometimes, Portia, is people want to skip like right at the beginning. They just want to the
Mhm.
very next day or that same week that they start, learning, they want to just skip to the end, and they
Mhm.
miss all that good stuff in
In
between.
between, that's
All the
right.
all the gems, all the gold, all the money too. That's where it's at. Mm.
Yes.
So, Portia, now the next time I see you, because you're about to be a Cressa, and then we got like our roundtable with Tiff and Tatter doing some things now. Like that notebook you got, that binder.
Mhm.
You see them extra large rings, the ones they got the
Yes.
extra large ring? Yeah, I know you
Uh-huh.
know them. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gonna need one of
3
them.
each one.
Yeah, you gonna need one of
That's all right, I can
them.
get it.
That's right. That's right. Shoot, listen. I tell people all the time, if you study as hard as you did, like to get your doctorate in your chosen profession, I know that wasn't easy. Couldn't have
Mhm.
been.
Right,
Right.
right.
Couldn't have been. And so imagine the result that you just got with this. If you put in half as much effort, commit time, even, woo,
Mhm.
Lord have mercy, you mess around by the Empire State Building. Yeah. you know,
You so
like
silly.
I mean, 'cause 6 months and you like $100,000 retirement plan, in equity in a property that we got the deed to, and it's in trust. So your estate is planned for it. Your estate is planned for now. Beautiful.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So let me see if there's any more. Oh, hold on. There's one question. We'll take this and then we'll get on up out of here. We've been on here a minute now. We be on here all night. Shoot. How would you go about getting a house that the bank lender has foreclosed on and owns it, and it's a failed listing by a real estate company? Well, if it's an REO, you got to negotiate with the broker. that oversees the REO department for the lender. So that means it went to auction. Nobody got the bid. Nobody won the bid. Maybe nobody bid, or nobody hit the number that the bank required, and so the bank takes it back. If there is, if there's a redemption period, you can wholesale it, get the rights assigned, but that's about it, Bill. Whoa, wow, Bill. That's why we get to them before. Oh my goodness. Speaking of before, Portia, the
Mhm.
auction was like right around the corner on this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The auction, we stopped the auction the day before, okay? But when I actually found the deal, it was like, I want to say right at 30 days, 27, 28 days. So I had them working, y'all. I had them burning the
Ooh,
midnight oil. So, but
yes.
Columbus Day was that Monday, and Gene was going to try to get in touch with the lender that day. But
They was
he texted me.
closed.
He said, "Portia, the bank is closed. Doggone it, it's Columbus Day." I said, "Doggone, sure is." And then the next day was the day. Wednesday was going to be the auction day, and he
So
got in touch with
Tuesday.
him that Tuesday.
Mhm, mhm.
Yep.
I got that call recorded. I talked to him on the Friday before, the
Right.
Monday Columbus Day, yes, and I had to get verbal authorization from first it was the wife, but the
Mhm.
husband's the primary person on the mortgage loan, so I had to
Right.
dial him in, patch him in, and get a verbal authorization, do our high level real estate thing, like I'm a PhD in real estates now, and you can call me doctor, you know?
Dr. Gene.
I'm just
Yes,
playing. I was
indeed.
playing, but we do it at a high level though. So I called them, and I let them know kind of who they was talking to, and the information that we know of what's going on and what they supposed to be doing. So
Mhm.
called them back Monday. They were closed. I was like, "Ooh, Portia, they closed today." I said, "But I'm gonna call them tomorrow." I was flying to that day. I was at the Houston airport,
Yeah.
or yeah, one airport somewhere, waiting to fly somewhere. Called them. They said, "Oh yeah, the foreclosure auction's been canceled." I'm like, "Ooh!" And then didn't the seller call you that day, the day of the auction,
Yes,
or was it this?
because she was like, "I don't know what's going on. Today is the auction and everything." I said, "Sweetie," and that was my fault, guys. I should have, communicated that with her. I said the auction has been canceled. So she's like, "Oh my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you." So yeah, she
Mm.
did on the day of the auction because she knew that was the day. She
Yeah, she
did.
knew that day was cut. Yeah,
She
she
knew
knew
that
the day.
day. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And we stopped it for her. How was it? How was it delivering good news?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I could hear the smile in her voice, I could hear the
Mm.
relief in her voice. So yeah, it's
Yes,
just amazing. It's just
yes, that's
amazing.
awesome. Mm,
Mhm.
mm, mm. So many good things come out of this from us. Look at us up here. People scrolling through their screen. They probably like, oh, we ain't stopping on them. Mm-mm, they look crazy.
That's okay.
They don't
It's
know.
okay.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't even know. They don't messed up.
They don't know. They
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
sure
It's
don't.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Bless
all
their
right.
hearts, Gene.
Bless the
Bless their
bless.
hearts. That's
Yeah,
all I
bless their
can
little
say.
heart. That's that South thing too. That's all I can say. I love it. I love it. So, well, I'm so glad that we were able to get you on here tonight and talk about, a great situation with you and making it through so much adversity, and such a
Absolutely.
journey, and to be able to now see a whole new outlook, true, really, on what is possible, with life and with, time, freedom, however you want it. And I'm just so glad and happy for you. Um, what
Thank you.
what words do you have for the audience, in closing, and somebody that's considering a similar path as you?
Mm. I would say if you're considering it, just jump in, and just see what actually, unfolds for you. If it's something that you are considering it, you've put some thought into it. So why not? I mean, you got a 50-50 chance of it going well or it not. So, I
Mm,
mean,
mhm,
if you're contemplating it, go ahead and at least try it. Don't have any
mhm,
regrets about not trying it. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So, and that's what I
mhm,
would say.
mhm,
Because this
mhm,
is a totally different aspect of my life, guys. But I feel like it's so congruent with what I do because I actually do help people. And that's why I
mm,
think that's another reason it's become so easy for me because it
mm,
runs, tantamount to what I do on a daily basis.
Mm, okay, that's interesting. Really?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. I just it's so intriguing to me that it's so similar to,
Yeah.
really what you've developed professionally, but
Yeah.
but like looking forward at the
Mhm.
potential of the opportunity to buy your time back.
Yes.
How was that how has that transformed you, personally knowing that as an investor?
Well, I feel like I don't have to wait until I'm 65 to retire. So,
Mm, that's right. We
you
got
know what
beaches
I'm
to get
saying?
to.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, because like I said, everyone, y'all know about, in our profession that, we are overworked and underpaid. So yeah,
Mhm.
so of course it's opened up a lot of new things. My European vacations are going to Dubai or going, you know what I'm saying? But that's just,
Mhm.
that's just so visceral. That's just not
Yes.
who I am. But
Mhm.
that's some of the things that
Mhm.
I want to do, with my family,
Mhm.
whatever, but being
Mhm.
able to give to, like I said in my challenge, oh, the National Kidney Foundation, St. Jude's,
Mhm.
being able to give to my charities, that I
Mhm.
love, and
Mhm.
big fat A checks, that's what I
Mm,
want to
that's
be
right.
able to. That's what I
Man.
want to, that's what I
Mhm.
want as a part of my legacy, also.
Yes, yes. Well, it seems, you're well on your way to that. Shoot. Yeah. Hey,
I'll take
yeah.
it.
They
I'll
mess
take
around and
it.
yeah, and they had that name that building after you. Now you keep digging
Okay.
in like you're digging in real talk too. Shoot.
Okay.
Nunley Hall,
Okay.
I can see it now.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
All
I like
right.
it. Down there in
I
Mississippi too.
I love it, baby. I love it.
That's right. That's right. Okay. All right. Well, this has been amazing. This has been amazing. So, Portia,
Thank you
we
so much
we
for having
appreciate
me,
you.
Gene. I appreciate you. I really
Yes.
do. I tell
Praise
Jerry that
God.
all the time and I don't have the opportunity to tell you that. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you've put into it because this has been an act of love that I feel like that you've done. You are so well versed in this, and I wish nothing but much, much more success for you because this is an absolute godsend.
I appreciate that. I truly do. It's really humbling, It's humbling that a person of your experience, education, and just life's journey and spirit and heart, would say that. So I've just been
Yeah.
uh blessed to be able to get the good people around me, the go-getter family,
Okay.
all of y'all, from the Avengers, my coaches to the other members, just really,
Mhm.
really good people. We find our way together. I've just put a place together where we could come and we could also talk about a little bit of money and grab some assets too, without having to go ask
Mhm.
permission from the bank. That just
Mhm.
makes it a
Mhm.
little bit better. But I couldn't do it without y'all. So it if there's anything that I could say is take Portia's journey as something that is parallel to what we all experience, in
Mhm.
life in one form or another, and it's a continual battle every day to stay on the course to our purpose, but we have to have a purpose too. And when we have a purpose and we're able to ignore those distractions and then have people around us when we don't have the energy maybe that day to go on, we
Mhm.
can lean on them like you leaned
Mhm.
on Jerry and got some energy from
Mhm.
him,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and someday he's gonna get some from you. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna get some. I mean, and so we're more powerful, together. We're all ingredients.
Together.
Yes, yes.
Together. Right.
We're
Right.
we're ingredients, and some ingredients don't even get activated until they mix with another.
There you
So,
go. There
shoot,
you
we up in
go.
here. Yeah, we up in
Come
here
on now.
activating all over the place. So
Come
I
on
love
now.
it. I love it. So y'all, I appreciate y'all. Guys, don't forget the Become the Bank Challenge. It's November 6th through the 10th. There's a link in the description. Tonight special only, $97 for the VIP. And you guys will get to see Portia in that challenge. So y'all, appreciate y'all.
I'll be
Portia,
there.
Appreciate you too. So love y'all. Y'all already know what it is. Hit that like button too. If you feel like we brought you some value, consider subscribing. All right. We're out of here. Till next time, let's get to it,
To
y'all.
it.
I'm a go